Oh, that's illegal.
Hi guys, it's Drew here, and I'm with
Nastasia.
Per usual. If you guys see a DIY home decor video on my channel, we typically do them together because we like doing collabs so you guys get the most out of a video. In today's video, we're doing DIY summer, Tumblr inspired, just very trendy room decor.
Minimal with a pop of color.
Yes, we want to do a little bit of color this time because a lot of our stuff has been neutral, which is typically what we go for, but we wanted to do a little bit of color for the summer season. So on my channel, you can find 4 DIYs and then hop on over to Nastasia's for 4 more, and I'll make sure to link her video in the description box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Click the little bell icon because you'll get notified of all my videos that I create, and I put up 2 a week on Thursdays and Sundays. And without further ado, let's get into today's projects. For this first DIY, you're going to need a mirror, some plastic cutlery, and a glue gun. And I actually found this plastic cutlery at the Party City. It's silver, and I got this idea online. Someone did it to a tray, and I started off by cutting or breaking my plastic spoons in half so that I got the spoon part and then the handle part. And all you have to do is glue each section of the plastic spoon onto the back of the mirror as I did here. And I sort of use this Target book as a guide of how I'm going to like place them down. So I just did one across from each other and sort of just placed them and layered them directly across from each other until I filled up a majority of the circle mirror. And after I had all of them glued down to the back, I went on and did the spoon part, the actual like spoon part of the mirror. So this is what it looks like when I placed on the handles. And then I did the spoon part, and these spoons actually have like a fan shape on the outside, so it gives a lot of detail, and the silver color really matches the mirror. Overall, I really think that this looked a lot like a Z Gallery piece, and it looks a lot more expensive than the $7 of supplies I paid for this entire mirror. For the second project, you're going to need some air dry clay, some gold paint, other acrylic paints, a paintbrush, and some screws. And I started off by taking my air dry clay and just molding it into a knob shape, and you're actually going to get multiple DIYs out of this. I wanted to do it sort of as like a 3-in-1 DIY. So I created a circle out of clay, and then what I did after the circle was created was I just used this screw here, and you're just going to want to use something that you know is going to fit in your door or your shelf or whatever you're going to be putting this handle on. Just push it in the back and let the clay dry. I also created this pyramid shape here, and air dry clay is so easy to work with, which is why I opted for it for this project. But you can also just use normal like oven baked clay if you have that as well. And this next project is a photo holder. I thought I would just create this as well because I love the idea of it, and I grabbed a large chunk of the clay and sort of created this oval cylindrical shape, and I used a popsicle stick to cut out a center slit, which is essentially going to hold a photo once it's completely dry. I actually opted to use this gold leaf paint as opposed to spray paint because I thought it was a lot more gold, and I didn't know I had it. So I painted that on there and gave a really nice shine to it. And the pyramid one, I actually just did some doodles on it, and I tried to resemble an Anthropology inspired knob. So I did a pink base, and then I used white paint and a small paintbrush just to do some designs on the top, and you can really do whatever you would like. So this is what the pink one looked like. And those are your finished projects, the gold handle, and then you also have the really cool photo holder that you can just put your photo in. This third project may be my favorite, and all you're gonna need is some glass vessels or jars, Elmer's glue, some food coloring, popsicle sticks, a paintbrush, and just some disposable cups. And you're gonna start off by putting your white Elmer's glue in a cup and mixing in your food coloring to create your desired color. And I first wanted to start off with like a teal shade, so I added a bit of green and then a tiny little bit of blue to make this teal, and then I added a bit more glue just to make the color not as vibrant. That's what's really nice, is that Elmer's glue is not too expensive, so you can really just mess around with it. And I used a paintbrush and I painted this on the outside of a glass jar. And what's so good about this DIY is you can really do this to any glass object and give a really nice sea glass effect to it. So I painted on the Elmer's glue mixture with the color, and you're just going to give it like a generous coating to where it really looks like you can't see through the glass anymore. And I also opted to create a more darker blue shade on the other glass vessels. So I did this dark blue, well, it's more of like a medium toned blue, and I wanted it to dry pretty dark, but it did dry a lot lighter than I thought it would. So I painted on that color, and those are the finished dried glass jars. You won't try it. You won't try it. This last project is so unique and adds so much texture. I'm going to create this canvas, and you're gonna need a canvas, some wooden dowels, glue gun, paint, and a paintbrush. And you're also gonna need a little bit of wax paper. And you're gonna start off by creating these 3D pyramids, and I suggest doing it on top of wax paper because the hot glue, once it's dried, actually peels directly off the wax paper. And I do suggest also using hot glue for this because any other glue would just take way too long for you to hold it, and hot glue is a pretty instant bond. So I created these pyramids. It's pretty self-explanatory how I created them. I just added a little bit of glue at all of the joints, and if you add too much glue, don't worry, you could actually use the tip of your hot glue gun to melt down the dried glue and sort of reshape the edges, which is really nice because you can get a really clean edge that way. And then I used a bit of this pink colored paint, and I just painted 3 of these 7 pyramids. I created 7 of them, and then I actually opted halfway through the DIY to almost create this color blocked effect. I thought it would look a lot nicer on this canvas, so I painted a corner of it using a piece of painter's tape just to create a really clean line. And then once that was dry, I glued down my pyramids, and this is just very asymmetrical and abstract. So I did the pink pyramids on the pink side, and once those were all placed down, I went and did the wood pyramids, or you can paint them white if you'd like to have them right on top of the white on that side. And I finished it off with a bit of paint to clean all the hot glue marks, and you are done with your canvas. No matter what you say, if you've got something to say, I'm tired of all the people running after silence and a way to stay. I'm feeling the darkness in his face every time he